Today's a very special episode for the Liquid Lunch Project. What do we got going on today, Lou?
Matt, when you told me to join you on this journey a couple of years ago for a podcast, I thought you were nuts. There's a part of me that still thinks you're nuts. But 100 episodes later, I can honestly tell you, Matt, this has been one of the great joys of my career. And you know how long that career has been. I'm getting into like zero territory with my age. It's been a tremendous amount of fun. We've met some wonderful guests. We've shared some great value. You've been a wonderful partner. And I want to say a special thanks to everyone that's behind the scenes that is working hard and very humble. So a big thanks to the team, Jenny, Mariana, Jesus, Luis, Hannah, everyone behind the scenes. Thank you for helping us produce, distribute, and putting a lot of smiles on small business owners' faces on Monday mornings. But we are the Liquid Lunch. So in keeping with the Liquid Lunch fashion.
What are you pulling out over there? What is that? You popping bottles. He's popping bottles. I know you guys can't see this. I think that's a bottle of Dom P. Did you get that at your wedding? Is that a wedding gift that you break out?
You know, here it is.
Cheers, buddy.
First time ever, champagne on the Liquid Lunch Project.
Cheers.
Congratulations. Happy 100th.
Welcome to the Liquid Lunch Project. Going from Wall Street to Main Street to help small business owners have the same capital as corporate America and give them the same resources as a larger company. We cover business funding, business credit, scaling, business consulting, and much more. Check out the website at shieldadvisorygroup.com. Welcome to the show, the Liquid Lunch Project.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the 100th episode of the Liquid Lunch Project. As you know by now, I am Matthew R. Meehan, alongside my partner, the Professor Luigi Rosabianca. What do we got on tap today, Lou?
Matt, today's going to be a retro. We're going to say thanks, and we're going to have a couple of flashbacks to all these wonderful 99 guests we've had, and we've been privileged to have them as guests, so thank you all so very much. But we've got a little bit of surprise for you in the second half of the podcast. Matt, you know they say that parents don't have a special child. You know, we love our children all equally. But I got to tell you this, there were a couple of episodes that are really near and dear to my heart. I mean, all 99 have been spectacular, but I look back, I actually listened to a couple yesterday just to kind of prepare for this one. Do you remember number 7 with Callie Keene, harnessing the power of product manufacturing and development? I mean, I think that was the first time we really did a deep dive in the manufacturing of products on the show.
Yeah, Callie's a great guy. I know him from our Arte syndicate that we're in together. He definitely knows his stuff, and I really love that episode. But you know what, Lou? Let's bring it back and tell the audience how this actually really started. It was the middle of COVID. Nobody was around, and there was this crazy app that came out that was all the rage. It was called Clubhouse.
Clubhouse. Jesus Christ, you had me on Clubhouse at 10, 11, midnight. It was ridiculous. But
we were running
it was a brain trial
sometimes.
Well, you were on the morning. I would gracefully exit stage left. And I'm happy to do.
But yeah, no, Callie's a great guy. What were some big takeaways you had from his episode?
You know, we take it for granted that the manufacturing process is a real big hurdle. It's a tough mountain to climb for any small business owner. So you always need to partner with a guy like Callie that can streamline the process for you, maybe have you outsource it. Look, if you're in the food and beverage business, some of these industrial kitchens come in handy. So, making any physical product in America is tough. But
we're still feeling that now with the repercussions from COVID, right? Because, I mean, we still don't really make much here. I know there's a big shift for us to make more things in America, but truth of the matter is we're relying on China, right?
So we are a service economy, and I think for the next generation we will continue to be a service economy. There's some cute things going on with the CHIPS Act, and there's a couple of nice automotive manufacturers coming over, but the lion's share of the stuff in our pantry and garage is all made in Southeast Asia.
Not even that, our medicine cabinets, right? Most of the drugs that imported to America are from China. So everybody's saying, let's watch out for China. F China. But let me tell you something right now. If we say F China and go to war, we're going to be in a big, big trouble in this country.
Well, I think it's the economy is like a blanket, right? It's a small blanket on a big planet. So you're going to cover your shoulders, but you'll expose your feet. So you can't play that game too aggressively, because as much as we need China's goods, they need our purchasing power and our accounting firms and our law firms. So it comes full circle, right? So everyone needs to play real nice in this global sandbox.
What was one of your most, I know you love Cali, but what was another memorable episode that you had?
You know which one I remembered fondly just because of just the nuance of having two guys on the show for the first time? I like the one with the Groff brothers, because it was the first time we did a double whammy, and those guys brought a whole lot of knowledge when it comes to conservative financial planning and the importance of 401ks, sub plans. The financial tools at a really good financial planner's disposal are endless.
Yeah, those are two really good guys too. We know them through our Apex network. So this all started out where we were just utilizing people inside our network to come on our show, but it actually expanded from there. And we got some pretty high level people on this show. One of my favorites is Terry Jones, right? Terry Jones, chairman of Kayak.
Oh man, there was a bromance going on after the whole time.
You know, one of my favorite quotes were from Terry Jones was always hire A players and not B players, right? That really stuck with me. And guys, just so you know, guys, girls, everybody listening, just so you know, we learn as much as you guys do through every episode of this podcast. You know, a lot of people come to us and they're like, hey, how do I start a podcast? If you don't have one, you should definitely get to one, because I can tell you right now, from firsthand experience, we've gotten in touch with CEOs, chairmen of Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies that have asked to be on our show. And when I was a stockbroker, I couldn't pay to get in a room with them.
How about that episode with Mr. Muccioli, one of the founders of Lee Cycle, that battery and lithium recycling company? What I loved about that story was they had just gone public, small firm in a really competitive space, but who knows, a couple of years down the line, they may explode, because we all appreciate how important it will be to be recycling batteries. So, you know, we're not just dealing with small business owners, we're bringing a lot of really interesting tidbits to the small business at large.
Yeah, we definitely try to do our best in that arena, right? And we hope you guys enjoy this as much as we do. Like I said, we're lifelong learners, and everybody that we bring on this podcast is somebody that we want to learn from. And, you know, we've had some really interesting guests, right? Steve Anderson, 14 Principles to Grow Your Business Like Amazon. He was a hoot, that guy.
Hey, Matt, did you have you caught on to the synergies with, I think we've had 4 or 5 guests on the show with their origins to Amazon?
Yeah. So we had David Seliger, who was the founder of Redfin, but he was one of the first employees hired at Amazon.
I think he made a comment where he was like employee number 11.
Yeah, like number 11. Now, but Bezos gave him $25 million and just invested in his new company, Sentinel Security, that he's running. He was a guy, that guy was amazing. He was one of my favorite guests because I knew who he was. I saw his background like the day before everything came on. I was a little bit of a nervous wreck. He got on, but he was cool as fuck, man. He started popping bottles. He started drinking with us. He was
the only episode guest that outdrank us during a podcast.
100%. He's like, yo, this is the Liquid Lunch Project. It's 11 o'clock here. It's 9 o'clock his time. And I think it was did he break out a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle? And we were laughing about it.
And then he was going into some old bourbons. The boy was out of control. And then fast forward to episode 88, we had John Rossman, who wrote the book about the Amazon way. Again, one of the original Amazon employees. So funny how we've had so many people. It's funny, a company with such humble roots. They were selling books. And all of a sudden, they have such a big footprint in the American economy.
Well, listen, I don't know if you saw the documentary or the movie that came out recently. It wasn't really that good, but it was about Bezos. He changed the name of the company 3 times before he got to Amazon.
But you know what I love about that story is, if you recall, these 4 or 5 guests that are making reference to Amazon in their careers and in their origin stories, they all had very fond words for Mr. Bezos.
Yep. Yes.
Maybe wasn't the most cuddly of creatures, but you know, the guy was effective, and obviously he was 2 chess moves ahead of everyone else.
One of my favorites, and I'm a little biased here because he's a friend of mine, is Mike Claudio. Mike Claudio came on. He just tells you how it is, whether you like it or not. If you don't know your margins, don't be in fucking business. And that is so true across the board.
Matt, if you are a contractor in America, you should know and follow Mike Claudio. He could offer so many little pearls of wisdom that you can apply to your everyday basis. And you're right about Claudio. He was very practical. There was no fluff there. There was no, spiritual coaching mumbo jumbo.
No, he just wants you to know your numbers and get down to it. But I think one of the coolest guys, and I kind of have a man crush on this guy on our podcast, was Steve Sims. What about Steve Sims? What do you think?
It's the British accent. Anytime you hear someone with a British accent, you fall in love, bro.
No, it's the way he says things. He's like, yeah, we could talk about my clients, Louis Vuitton, Estee Lauder, but it doesn't matter. What matters is I'm the one that failed the most. I love that guy.
Hey, another fan favorite, and do not underestimate the power of franchises in the American economy, but the franchise maven, Greg Moore.
Yeah, he was awesome. I still love reading his newsletter every week that he sends to us. He's a great guy.
It's really humbling to see the impact of franchises in the American economy. It's definitely a wonderful way to start or maybe invest or propel whatever product or service you may have.
I love people that are trying to go out and do great things like that haven't been done before. So Gary Roberts was actually a friend of mine as well, and he's doing some amazing things. The guy's a fireman, puts his life on the line every single day, but because of what he experienced in his life, he's trying to make ways in this world so people don't have to experience what he went through. So that was one of my favorite episodes by far.
Yeah, he gets the moral A+ on the podcast guest list.
We've had a bunch of marketing guys on there. They've all been very good. However, I think Steve Sims is probably my favorite marketer that stood out of all of them at all time.
Well, Matt, you remember me as a kid, man. I was always that space geek. I'd always make that the planets for my panorama for elementary school science project. So I was a big fan of number 29, Chris Lewicki. Remember Space in the Future? He literally gave us the blueprint of what the world would look like with their relationship to space over the next 20 to 30 years. And I got to tell you, it's going to be an interesting place.
Yeah, I was very silent on that one because my head was spinning. Literally spinning. Didn't even know what... He used words that I didn't even know existed.
Hey, I know another favorite of yours was Joe Cicala, the Dream Exchange.
Yeah, man.
Imagine if he pulls that off, creating...
I got to reach out to him. I think he's made big waves in that, because giving liquidity to smaller and lower middle markets is something that's definitely needed in this country.
Oh, man, look, we're speaking the same language. Like, if he could figure out a way to create that open market exchange for small businesses in America, I mean, we know the difficulty that small business owners have in tapping into liquidity. So, yeah, kudos to Joe Cicala, and we wish him all the best, man. But if anybody could do it, Joe can.
100%. We've had so many amazing guests on here. It's hard to talk about all of them and single them all out. But, we've actually been very fortunate enough from the guests that we've met. We've had amazing people on here that we've actually invested our own money with, put our own money with them, because we love their ideas and we thought they were going to do amazing things in this world. So Steve Gilman's one of them. So why don't you talk about Steve?
Steve Gilman, good guy, great business idea. I wish Steve and his team so much continued success. But this is going to be an interesting lesson for every small business owner. No matter how good the idea, it always comes down to the execution. And I know Steve and his team can knock it out of the ballpark, but he has this wonderful product in espousing human resource and their tools for learning and courses and seminars throughout a team. I think the only thing left for them to do is just execute, right? Matt, we talk about this all the time. You could have terrible ideas with great execution, and you could have wonderful ideas with poor execution, right? So if you can have both a great idea and great execution, Mr. Gilman's going to knock it out of the park. Yeah, he's a stud.
You know, another person that we invested with, and I'm really looking forward to this one, seeing how it turns out, is John Hung. He's an interesting cat.
I'm going to give John Hung the A+ of Big Jock on campus, an hour 99 guess, because what I like about Jonathan is his humility.
Oh, wait a second. We've had the chairman of Kayak, CEO of Meetup.com, guy that sold his company for $150 million, another $100 million. You're giving John Hung that title? It's a big title to give out there, pal.
He's getting the title, man. He's getting the title.
I hope you're right, because our money's with him.
You know what it is with John? He's not afraid to roll up his sleeves and get down in the trenches. You know, he's putting together a couple of interesting startups. And again, the execution is going to be difficult, but we could see it from early on. He is expanding their geographic territorial reach on a daily basis. He's a beast. Jonathan Hung is one of those very quiet, introverted beasts. I think he's going to open a lot of eyes over the next couple of months.
You know, there were a couple things that I wanted to invest in that you didn't want to invest in. We had John Kransky on, and John.
You mean crypto or something like
that? He was on that. John Kransky, you don't even remember. John Kransky ran the company backed by Mark called NFT Genius, but it was a trend play at the time. I think that company's now defunct. So good call on that one.
Yeah, Matt, I'm a kind of brick and mortars, boring. You know, I like Caterpillar. I like John Deere. I like GE. You know, they bring good things to life. I'm a boring guy. You know, I don't like these, like if I can't explain the business or the product to my nephews, I don't like the product. If you need a PhD to try to understand it, it's very difficult for me to get involved.
You know, a lot of listeners text in, send us emails. They want to know what we're investing in. So these are some companies that we invest in. Lou, why don't you talk about some other investments that we've done together and personally over the last 24 months since we've been running the podcast? We put a lot of money out in the street.
Well, Matt, our mandate is a little bit different than most other people because we're busy with our day job, right? We're running Shield Advisory Group, and we're helping to consult a lot of small business owners. We have this humble podcast. We have a newsletter. We have families. So when we look into the merits of an investment, it's not just the investment specifically, but it's also the management team behind the investment, because we don't have the time nor the human resources to manage real estate or chase down investors. So we would like to, Matt, I know you always like to say, you know, invest in the jockey and not the horse, right?
That's one of my favorite things.
Yeah. So
absolutely true.
Yeah. So that's our big mandate. We like to see the big operations at play. And if they've got streamlined operations as well as being a wonderful investment, yeah, we're in.
So we definitely like businesses that already have some type of track record that are in operation. But however, personally, I do some angel investing. I have some angel investments going out there. Luigi's been in a couple with me. But we've gotten more into real estate over the last years, whether it's through developments, Airbnbs, syndication across the board, in multifamilies. We're always interested in looking. But I think for every idea that we look at, for every 100, we probably only say yes to one. Would you agree?
Yeah, there's just not enough time in the day. And look, I'm sure there's a lot of wonderful ideas, like really brilliant guys and girls that have put ideas in front of us, but perhaps they just weren't buttoned up, you know, and maybe it just wasn't the right time for us, right? So we're not good at speculating. You know, we've gotten a little bit long in the tooth, right? So we like to see deals that are buttoned up. So, just a word of advice, if you're putting together a deck sheet or you're putting together a business model or a business plan, just cross those T's, dot those I's, and have all those variables answered because variables become problems.
Or just send me a bottle of tequila and I'll look at it.
Yeah, Matt is obsessed with becoming the next George Clooney. He wants to have his own tequila brand. It's going to be Mi Jerinho or something.
No, maybe the Irish Mexican. I don't know. But guys, seriously, we look at a lot of ideas and we appreciate all the ideas that you send to us on a daily basis. But again, if we don't get back to you, it's nothing about you. But I will tell you this, follow up because we're really busy. Follow up with us more. The more you follow up with us, the more likely you'll get to a yes or at least a maybe, a hard maybe.
Hey, Matt, do you remember Mr. Darren Paltrowitz, number 71?
He was one of my favorite guests in the whole program because it was so outside the box and so different than everything that we ever did.
I learned so much about the music industry. Like I never knew all those moving parts to every concert, every road show, every ticket sale. It was really, he opened our eyes to an industry that to us was this big mystery. That was a fantastic episode.
Yeah, I love that one. John Jonas actually single-handedly helped us with our company, and he doesn't even know this, right? Because we're like, we don't want to hire employees. We don't want somebody that's going to call in sick. We don't want this. We don't want that. He's like, just hire a specialist, man. I got you. Send me what you need. I'll send you some resumes. And he came in single-handedly and helped us with a lot of tasks that we were able to outsource rather than paying people $15 to $20 an hour here in the States.
I know I speak for the both of us. One of our favorites also, just because he's become a friend over the years, is number 41, Brian Huff, another rock star. The old joke with Brian. We always said that during the pandemic, the guy was either going to be flat broke and bankrupt, or he was going to be a rock star in the kid gymnastics space. And you know what? The latter is true.
And next thing you know, we'll write him a six-figure check to get involved in his company.
Talk about buttoned up. I will throw this out there. That investment we made with Huff was probably the one I sleep with best at night because of him and his management team. So guys, never underestimate the importance of having a buttoned up management team. I'm not talking about hiring one of the big four accounting firms. I'm just talking about just having adults on your team.
You guys really need to go and check out that episode because, Brian is a client that became a friend. Now we became partners in a business together, and he's doing some amazing things in the realm of, I don't want to just say gymnastics. I think that's where he started, but for kids' activities in general. And I think you're going to see some cam studios popping up in every metropolitan area across the country very soon. Lou, when it comes down to it, we've had so many amazing people on our show, but everybody says, oh, you have a podcast? How much money do you make from that? Well, here's the truth, guys. We make absolutely $0. We make $0, but we have opportunities and we get to build relationships with people we would never have access to, or just even relationships with clients that we were able to bring other opportunities to across the board. So you can't quantify something like that. We really enjoy doing this. So I hope you guys enjoy us doing it too.
Oh, we're not done. Far from it, Matt. We're just getting started.
Oh, no, it's only about to get better. It's only about to get better. We started with, I don't know, a computer, 2 computers each. We invested in some mics. We invested in this, a little bit of that. And we have a whole team behind us. And the production quality after this episode is going to be mind-blowing, to say the least. We're giving to you guys all the same tools and resources that corporate companies have that small business owners don't have access to. We want to be the guys that bring it to you, right? And we're telling you exactly what we do and how we do it, right? A lot of people tell you what to do, but they don't tell you the how. They want you to buy some course. Our podcast is 100% free, complimentary. Listen to it, right? However, when you guys call us up and you ask, how do we do business with you? And we tell you, if you want to join our consulting, be a consulting client of ours, there's a price to that, right? But we were getting it so much, and we realized there were so many entrepreneurs that just couldn't afford us in-house, which is fine. They're just not there yet. We realized we wanted to do something else, something a little bit different. They wanted to pick our brain. I hate that phrase, pick our brain, right? You can't pick my brain. My brain is constantly moving. It's constantly going. And my time is very valuable between my family and the businesses that I run. But I want to give back to you guys as much as possible. With that said, one of the biggest questions, like I said earlier, was, what do you guys invest in? What are you doing? So I'm going to give you guys something we're very bullish on right now. And we've told this to people for the last 24 months. And the big question coming up was how? How do you do it? We are very bullish on small business in America, if you couldn't tell already. However, we're bullish because we want to go in and we want to buy corporations that already exist because of what they call the silver tsunami. There's many baby boomers going out into the marketplace looking to sell their businesses right now that are profitable. And for the right buyer, you can buy these with little to no money out of cash out of pocket, right? So what that means is me and Luigi are actually going out and buying businesses, but we can't look at every business. So we decided to do something that was a little bit different than everybody else. What do we do, Lou?
Ta-da! We sat down. It took us, I think our gestation period was 9 months. We had a baby. And our baby is called Buying the American Dream, a strategic playbook for acquiring small businesses. Now, Matt, I think you can call me the professor because we have our own book now. It's official. But all kidding
I barely graduated high school, so I don't even know how I have a book, but it's okay.
all kidding aside, this is a proud moment for us because it's our first book. I don't know if it'll be the first of many or just the first, but we're very proud of it. And it is the playbook for acquiring small businesses. There is no fluff. There is no preamble on how wonderful Matthew is and how literary Luigi is. It gets down to the nitty gritty.
Basically, we get down to brass tacks is what Luigi is trying to say.
Yep.
We tell you how it is, whether you like it or not, and what it's going to take for you to actually acquire a business, and more importantly, succeed and scale that business moving forward. Luigi and me, it was fucking hard. I'm not going to lie to you. It was hard to write this book, Lou. Between me and you, and
technically, probably one of the most difficult things I've ever done technically, but it's that classic out of your comfort zone. So you don't know what you don't know. And we kind of learned along the way. And it was a lot of humble pie for 9 months. But now that it's done, I look at it and I'm actually proud of it.
Well, I wrote down what I thought. Luigi wrote down what he thought. We fought for about 3 months about how to put it together. We found this amazing, amazing editor that could come in and help us. Her name is Jenny Scott. She actually runs our newsletter too. And she helped us
XO, Jenny.
put everything together. And if you ever met me and Luigi, we're like the odd couple. So that's not easy.
Yeah, that's saying the least.
So guys, that book is going to be available on April 7th, 2023. If you guys want to support us, we'd love for you to go pick up a copy. Anybody that picks up a copy is going to get some, what are they going to get, Lou? Tell them.
Well, what we did is we tried to make the book not just reading material, but interactive and helpful. So within the book, you'll find some QR codes with some lists, guides, tools. So we want this not to be something that you put on your side of the bed at night and never touch, but we wanted this to be a resource for you. So when you're looking at deals and you're looking at new business opportunities, feel free to reference the book. It is the playbook for acquiring small business. So when you're reading it, grab a highlighter, grab a red pen, mark it up, take pictures of the QR codes. It's all for free, man. Just use it.
So we have a mixed bag of people that listen to the show, read the weekly, a lot of entrepreneurs and younger people that want to buy a business or open their own business. And then we have people that already run a successful business. But the fastest way to scale a successful business is to acquire another one rather than starting up a new location. You can go out and you can acquire teams and talent. But you know what? If you never started a business before, let me tell you, it's freaking hard, right? There's a better way. And we think buying a business is a better way to get your platform business off the ground and able to scale and buy more businesses going forward. Look, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, these guys don't go out and start businesses anymore. Yeah, they start little things inside their organizations, But how do they keep on top of the marketplace? They go out and they acquire other people that are doing awesome.
Hungry hippo, small business, baby.
And right now, there's about 1,400 businesses that hit the marketplace every day from the baby boomer generation. And a lot of them are profitable. But here's the sad fact. The average business broker is 60 years old. The only thing that they care about is getting their commission when that business sells, and they do nothing for it. Statistic for y'all. 80% of businesses that are listed on Biz Buy Sell don't sell. Never sell. Because those owners didn't have a succession plan in place for that. So what we're doing is we're teaching you in this book how to go out and acquire those businesses, get around the business broker, right? And make a deal and be creative, because we're all about being creative here, that works for you, and how you can actually acquire a business with little to no money out of pocket.
The demographics, the social mood, and the economic circumstances that we're going through right now make it ripe for acquiring a small business. And don't forget that old adage where most small businesses fail within year 2, right? So there's something to be said about acquiring a business that has gone through that test and has withstood those trials and tribulations and is 10, 15, 20 years old, but that entrepreneur or small business owner hasn't put a succession plan in place or doesn't have a plan for 2.0. Be that 2.0 for that small business owner.
10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, everything we were told growing up doesn't exist anymore. Having that yellow lab, the white picket fence in the house, 2.5 kids, job security, and a 401k, it's gone. Look at these rounds of layoffs that are going on right now. And these are rounds of layoffs that people that had already been laid off before 3 years ago during COVID. We truly believe that everybody should own a business in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that 1970s and 1980s American dream where you'd go work for IBM for 40 years, or you'd go work for one of the big 3 automakers for 45 years and then enjoy your golden years. That gig is up. And the new gig is small business in America. And we've told you, Buying the American Dream, a strategic playbook for acquiring small businesses. Matt, where can our friends and guests find this book?
They can go to our website, theliquidlunchproject.com. There's a tab up top. Just hit that, find the book there. More importantly, if you have any questions or want to reach out to us, we're here to help you guys. We really enjoy doing this on a weekly basis, and we want to give you more of what you need and what you want. So shoot us an email, a DM, subscribe, like our channel, number one. But more importantly, reach out. We're trying to grow a community here of people that are like-minded, that want to actually create their own American dream.
Hey, Matt, sorry about that champagne, buddy. I finished it all.
You think? Hey, guys, that's a wrap. The 100th episode of the Liquid Lunch Project. We'll catch you on the next one. See you then.
Thank you for listening to the show. And make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. We'll see you on the next episode of the Liquid Lunch Project.